Hi, I'm in bed again. I want to talk a little bit about what it's like to be yourself and why it's kind of hard sometimes and why like just makes sense sometimes. And I kind of love that you can see my shadow. It makes sense for this video because wherever you go, there you are. But that's maybe that's fine. Because this series is all about just doing things off the cuff and having a little fun and sharing some laughs. Like, can you really ever truly be yourself? And why is that advice so annoying, trite seeming, and yet so true? I was listening to like mindset podcast earlier that was talking about how regret doesn't come from outcomes. It comes from actually not having been your true self in the moment. There was like some study they cited where people who didn't achieve X outcome but felt like they could be themselves in that moment, they did not have any regret. But those who felt like they couldn't be themselves, even if they achieved their desired outcome, they were full of regret. Yeah, just like it really touched me. And the thing that got me the most about that was just remembering different parts of my life where I did feel regret and wondering about kind of the self-betrayal that was happening in those moments and just reflecting on how like in different parts of my day I'm different people because I'm serving someone else or I'm working towards a specific goal or I'm I have a certain intention. I have like a personal need to fulfill. Like especially as a parent, it feels like I can't show certain parts of myself to my kid because it's just not appropriate. And and yet at the same time, I can still feel like I am myself or like I have lots of times with my kid where like I'm not regretting it. I'm noticing I'm wanting to turn inwards and just meditate on this. And maybe that's something I should do before making another video. Because the thing that is turning around in my mind is this breakdown of even the word myself. Like, the self is a thing, the self is an entity or a collection of experiences and perspectives. And then myself is like a specific relationship to that self. And I don't know, like the fancy terms and the specific language around the different like spiritual layers of consciousness and I don't know. I can't speak to it in a more academic way, but intuitively I can sense my direct experience of the world. And then when I meditate and I observe that, there's part of me that's not immersed in the experience, but that's noticing that I'm immersed in that experience of the world. And then if I get even more still and I really continue observing, there's part of me that's aware that I'm observing my direct experience. And so, like that, there's all these layers to my experience of the world and all these different relationships to myself. And almost like it's like spiritual plumbing. Like we're connected to different parts of ourselves and different parts of our experiences. And we show different aspects of ourselves according to the context we're in. I think it's important to have that baseline connection to yourself. But that's what it's really about. It's not about how you appear to others, it's about your relationship to yourself and what that feels like. Because going back to that study, it's like if you are really connected to yourself in a specific moment, then no matter the outcome, you're going to feel okay. But if you're disconnected from yourself and you're making decisions based on other people's opinions or prioritizing other people's needs, there will probably be some regret there. think it's hard to always show up as yourself when certain parts of yourself were not accepted or celebrated in your environment growing up. And I think, especially for people who had, very stressed out caregivers or caregivers who were, abusive or neglectful or just challenged, it's like there were probably needs you had and just like regular, just developmental things that you went through that were just pushed down or ignored or maybe like actively worked against. And that's a hard thing to work through as an adult. It's worth working through. That's what's really inspiring me to make a series like this, because I don't always find it easy to be myself. And even right now, like in this series of videos that I myself am challenging myself to make, like I'm trying to, there's different parts of me that are like, well, I should do it like this and I should do it like that. And I should like, maybe I should script it and maybe it should be more polished. And it's kind of like, well, for who? For who? Because I think the value in what I want to share is just that there is a template for being yourself and for relaxing into what you really need to create something without it having to look like or feel like anyone else's blueprint. And I feel like behind the actual steps, the logistical steps of what it takes to achieve something in the world, there's an energetic component that kind of does get transmitted in an abstract, nonverbal way. Like there may just be something in the tone of my voice or in the way that I'm sharing this information that may land with someone that's like, oh, I'm too scared, I'm too tired, I'm too old. And I feel like I really want to rest in myself. I think that's the deepest solace and peace and contentment that I have found in my life, is really like when I've been able to trace the contours of my own energy and just let myself be there. I think I experienced that at my first Vipassana sitting, and it was so relaxing. It took some time to really get there, but oh, it was so relaxing to just be like, oh, like after several days of like just going through like Beyonce. It was 2014. Okay. So there was just like Beyonce and Rihanna and like God knows what in my brain. And then like after a few days, I was like, oh, like I think I can like really hear myself. And I think I'm really responding to the world around me in a way that I haven't been as familiar with in my adult life. And I mean, I was 24 at the time, so my brain was technically still forming, but it was such a good experience. One day I'll go back. I went when I was pregnant, and I would not recommend that, especially if you are carnivorous while pregnant, which I definitely was, which shocked me. But yeah, and that's, I guess that's like another piece of being yourself is your identity, because that's an identity crisis I kind of had when I was pregnant. I was like wanting meat so bad. And I grew up vegetarian. I was vegetarian for most of my adulthood until like 2019. I would like daydream about chicken and fish, and then I would like make myself these elaborate vegan meals and feel so tired. And I remember I had like chicken tikka masala, like biodynamic, organic, like free range chicken tikka masala, and I was like, oh yeah. But it was kind of an identity crisis for me, and I was like, am I being untrue to myself? But it was really like, oh, that was just like a vision of myself that I upheld for reasons that were more cultural than truly like need based or personal. But yeah, I don't know about this episode, you guys. I'm honestly like, it's the end of the day and I'm tired, and I wasn't sure if I was going to finish making this video, but I think I just did. I think it's complete, and I think sometimes there's this kind of serious, spiritual, philosophical, logical part of my personality that came out a little bit, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's just what this is today. And I appreciate you for watching and listening, especially if you made it to the end, you crazy person. But I don't know, maybe you resonated with something I shared, and I would love to know if you did. Please tell me. Please tell me. Okay, have a great time in the world. Bye.